This morning, a family looking for closure after a 7-year-old girl in Stockton was found dead in her own home. Billy Williams' father, who is also named Billy, is behind bars facing charges of homicide. Take a look at the dozens who showed up at the vigil for Billy yesterday. It is a tragedy that has left family members in disbelief.
I was really surprised. I used to live with him a while back for like a year, and I've never seen no signs of any of them doing this intentionally.
We just want justice for it. By all means necessary, just justice for little Billy.
Officers found Billy unresponsive Saturday morning while doing a welfare check. Police tell us that even though both the stepmother and biological mother of the little girl have been questioned, neither have been arrested. Firefighters had a busy weekend. You may have seen the smoke from 2 grass fires outside Elk Grove. One in Wilton threatened buildings before firefighters were able to get a hold of that. The other one in Vineyard off Essinger Road. That one grew to about 100 acres before it was contained. And people in Davis and Woodland may have seen smoke as well, coming from several fires burning along Highway 113. Fortunately, nobody was hurt. A good reminder in these hot and dry conditions, especially over this next week, it will not take much to spark something bad. And people are still waiting for a stimulus payment from the government, and the Treasury Department says they will issue them through prepaid Visa debit cards. That got people wondering, does that mean they can track your transactions? Evan Kosloff with our Verified team did some digging.
The Verified team is here to break down rumors spreading online, and there's been no shortage of misinformation about those stimulus checks which were sent to millions of Americans. Maybe you saw news stories about the latest development. The Treasury is sending debit cards to millions of Americans instead of paper checks. That prompted posts like this, people claiming that this will allow the government to track how you spend the money. So let's verify. Can the government track your transactions if you use these debit cards? First, let's get some background. In a recent press release, the Treasury announced that they were sending out nearly 4 million of these debit cards. It's for Americans who qualify for the payments but do not have their bank info on file with the IRS. And once you receive one of these cards, you could basically do whatever you want with them. Use the card at a store, transfer funds to a personal account, even cash out at an ATM. But let's get to the big question here. Can the feds actually track your purchases? Well, first off, we should point out that the Treasury Department isn't actually managing the cards. That's done by MetaBank, a private company that acts as the financial agent for the Treasury. And that's when we need to talk about the Right to Financial Privacy Act. On the MetaBank website, they say this law prohibits them from giving your info to the feds without written permission, except under very limited circumstances. So we can verify. No, the Treasury is unable to track your purchases if you use these debit cards, because that would break the law.